Hey guys, Happy New Year! I hope that you enjoyed your New Year's Eve and the whole celebration, maybe playing Paradox games, maybe spending it with the friends. Today I would like to cover some updates that were shared by Johan in the last 2 days. Yeah, apparently they were working hard. One on how they plan to improve railroading, the historical railroading in EU5 in the coming months, and also overall changes upcoming in the 1.1 patch. Actually, that patch is so big it is gonna have its own dev diaries, but for now we've received an overall vision of their goals. First of all, railroading. EU5 has numerous mechanics that are helping with that. Mainly situations, and not all of them are perfect yet. They definitely want to keep improving these mechanics. For example, for the Ottomans to expand even faster, or some of the others like War of Religion to just do better. He's also mentioning that patch 1.0.10 made AIs expand way better. Maybe too much. I think that was one of the messages on the forum that they are thinking about making it an game option on how aggressive on expansion the AI is. Very aggressive, or not much aggressive, like on the launch patch. But yeah, on the narrative goals, here's what they want to achieve. They want the Holy Roman Empire to not get gobbled up immediately, and they want to keep it fragmented until the last age. Hordes should not exist after mid-game. The Ottomans should grow much deeper into the Balkans and Levant, creating a France level of a threat in the southeast of Europe. Russia should unite, which is very hard. I think the most important thing they should do is to avoid Novgorod and Moscow alliance, as well as making simply formation of Russia a bit easier. This is really hard to form it, and it should go towards Siberia. The Western European powers should build strong colonial empires, which is rather often thing to happen, maybe too often. We've got Italians actually colonizing, and Europe should grow more advanced and powerful than the rest of the world as the ages go by. If you open your games in the late game, you usually see that whole world has all the institutions, which was also an issue with EU4. They're planning to probably adjust it to give a bit of advantage on Europe, especially that they have disadvantage on the population mechanics compared to some Asians. As for the 1.1 patch, I was reading through it this morning when I woke up, and I was actually positively surprised on the amount of the things that are upcoming. It's not only bug fixes, it's not only rebalance, but it's actually also a lot of UI improvements and overall new content. First of all, about the gameplay. There'll be new diplomatic abilities where you'll be able to transfer one of your subjects to another country, something you couldn't do in EU4, ways to destroy defensive leagues, and transferring territories between the two subjects, which was also not possible in EU4. Diplomatic spending will now impact your annexation speed. There's gonna be a rework on the colonial charter, so instead of going to a certain percentage of your dominant culture and religion of pops, it now keeps track of how many people you have sent, and some other things, whatever etc. means, so you can get minorities in your colonies. Because currently if you send your colonies to a province that had a lot of people of not your culture or religion, it was really hard to finish that colony, and they are adjusting it potentially to working a bit like in EU4, probably just a bit more complex. You'll be able to finally provoke rebels to start an uprising, not waiting for them to hit 100%. So for example, if you want to clear all your laborers before starting a war, this will be possible. You'll be able to change your culture's opinion of the other cultures on your own. I just hope it will cost a lot, because that would make it a bit too strong if it was cheap. And tiny revolts will no longer form a new country and start an entire war. So probably we'll have for the tiny revolts something more similar to E4, where they're just a stack of rebels rising. I just hope it will not be like 100 people, just more. They're also getting some cheats for countries to get certain bonuses or penalties for the proximity on specific topography, like Austria being able to get better proximity from mountains, so they can actually have high control on their silver mine. There will be coin laws that will be impacting what metals you use for the coins generation, and even copper will be possible to be used for that. There'll be yet another rebalance of levies, mercs and regulars, but I'm just hoping to start working at one point, but let's see what they are planning. To be honest, for me, still the balance that was at the 1.0 patch was the best that we had so far. For the content design, they are adding a unique disaster from the Brandenburg, and there will be new advances coming from many German countries because it is definitely lacking right now. Since there was a lot of negative feedback from the Chinese community about the balance in this region of the world, both China and Japan will be receiving rework of their mechanics, including Sengoku Jidai and Red Truba rebellions, and also Manchuria is gonna get a lot of improvements, and so is the Tengri religion. Reworks to Brazil, Andes and Mesoamerica. Hard to comment without details, but I honestly enjoyed Brazil in my Portugal campaign. I'm still continuing it. The new video should be out in a few days. The Holy Roman Empire has seen a fair amount of attention as well. Hopefully, especially regarding the previous point about it being destroyed so fast and Emperor not being able to protect it from outside and Bohemia just killing it from the inside. A lot of situations are also getting improvements like Western Schism and Council of Trent. Honestly, so far, many situations for me are just, too simplified, and they're making the game for the player not so often worth it. It's also UI is not often so clear about, mentioning what are the benefits of going a specific path. So I just hope they'll improve it. And some situations are also just simply impacted by the AI behavior, because like War of the Religions, what's the sense of them when there are like 5 countries in the HRE? This is my favorite part, improvements to the user interface. They are finally bringing the Army Navy template builder. Honestly, it should be in the game release, but I'm happy it is gonna be there, and it is gonna be in the free game, not any DLC. And they also improved the end of war dialogue to actually show losses like in EU4. Again, it should be in the release version. There'll be rally points for the levies, so something that CK3 always had. And recruited mercenaries should be a lot improved. I honestly hated the mercenaries UI, and that's why you never see me using mercenaries in my games. Music player will be added to the game, and there'll be more settings regarding the music. I just hope I'll be able to just play Pain in Salvation on loop. If you're angry that you discarded an alert about, missing employees for the RGOs, and after 2 month ticks it's there again, you'll be able to permanently discard some of the alerts and then just restore them in the new UI that they are adding. Which is great because there's millions of pop-ups, alerts you can have in game, right? And which ones are worth information for you depends on your gameplay, on your style, but also overall on the age as well. So it's good that you'll be able to just limit amount of the pop-ups and just focus on the ones that are important for you. And even better improvement, if you're really bothered that you're building something in your market and you needed some filters, like to be able to build subjects, for example, and when you close the window and reopen it after a while, it was resetting to the default filters again. Now the game will actually remember your filters when you go back to this screen. There'll be more abilities to manage the formation of a unit. What more means we need more information in the future if there is. But hopefully, like for example, I only want cavalry on the flanks. Maybe that is gonna be an option. And a feature that I requested, I think in August. So I'm really happy to see it personally. I was asking for it. There will be a toggle to automatically rebalance your stacks all the time. So this way you'll not have to remember to do it manually when you have 20 stacks, because otherwise you'd have everyone on one flank. They're improving unit UI, so it's not obscure half of screen. I'm not sure what it means, but there will be some improvements. I would like to see actual screenshots. And River map mode is making a comeback. An improved one, because apparently the original river map mode that you might have seen was very hidden because it was a debug map mode. It wasn't supposed to be exposed to players. So it's making a comeback together with also some few new map mobs that they're adding, especially for the collisions, maximum control, not only the current control, and apparently also some more. And at the same time, they're also making improvements to the road map modes. I assume it will show on which directions the roads are going, because you might have in a road map mode a colored location that has a road, but it doesn't mean it goes in the direction that you need. One of the many things that people were making laugh at the game release is that, oh, characters in 18th century are still wearing the medieval armors. They are adding new hats, wigs and cloths. For now, for the European characters in the 18th century, there will be also new icons for the advances and modifiers coming on the art. It's a bit sad that some of the changes will not be made a bit faster, especially looking at the Steam reviews of the game, where people are mainly annoyed about the AI aggressiveness, it seems. If I was to suggest one thing, is to actually make one more patch to 1.0, that is adding that AI aggressiveness setting, right? So you can choose current aggressiveness, semi-aggressive, or not very aggressive. So, because it's clear that you have different groups of the players, right? There are players that want to chill out and build up, and these guys loved the 1.0 patch. And then we got second group and hate the current patch, and then we have the second group of the people that they want to be post-change, they want the AIs to expand a lot, and they were like, you know, complaining about the nothing ever happens, and now they kind of enjoy the aggressiveness. So making another game option, I think it is the perfect solution, because you'll not make everyone happy by tweaking, keeping tweaking the setting in the overall game. But yeah, this is it. Let me know which change is your favorite. Hopefully you have that one more change coming soon, while the patch 1.1 is scheduled for the start of February. For today, thanks for watching. Make sure to check my recent released Pandya video when I'm studying as a 1 Pro in Smiler and dominating solver in India. And I'm gonna see you soon.